Hey, this is Arthur Lisiaga with Good Times Radio and TV. I'm here with Mr. Peter Wilt. Peter, how are you?
Terrific today. Good to be here. Thanks, Arthur.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to ask you a few questions, Mr. Wilt. First off, could you tell us your background, like your education, where you were raised, and how you got into the soccer team?
It's interesting. Growing up, I wasn't a soccer guy. Soccer didn't exist too much when I was a kid. Growing up in McHenry, Illinois, in northwest suburb. But I was a sports junkie. So, big White Sox fan. My dad's from the South Side, Blackhawks and Bulls, that whole thing. I was a journalism major in college, minored in history. So I didn't really take business courses or sports administration courses. There were no sports admin programs back then. But I was fortunate to land a job in minor league hockey coming out of college in Milwaukee with the Milwaukee Admirals hockey team, and kind of learned the business on the job with the Milwaukee Admirals. And as a small organization, I was able to do a little bit of everything, learned every aspect of the organization. And then I got into soccer at my next step. An indoor soccer team, a pro indoor soccer team in Milwaukee was looking for some help. They wanted someone, ironically, that didn't have a soccer background. They didn't want someone coming in with the prejudices of someone steeped in soccer. They wanted someone with a sports business background, which I had at the time with the Admirals, 3 or 4 years there. And that's what got me into soccer. That would have been 1987, about 23 years ago. That was my first real experience on the soccer end. I was a Chicago Sting fan. I'm wearing a Sting polo shirt today, growing up. So I had a little bit of contact with soccer. But it was really that experience with the Milwaukee Wave in 1987, 88 that got me hooked on the sport. And I've been in it ever since for 24 years now.
Wow, 24 years, wow. How has the Chicago Riot played so far this season?
You know, the on-the-field performance has been good, but the results have not been indicative, I don't think, of our how we've played. It seems like every game we get out to an early lead, we blow the lead, and then we stage a furious comeback only to end up 1 or 2 goals short. So we've only got a couple of victories this year, but we've been in every game except one. We're 2-9. We still have a chance for the playoffs, but we have to start winning and start winning today.
Right, definitely. When was the Chicago Riot established?
The Riot came to be just before the season started. This is kind of an interesting story. The league was at 6 teams throughout most of the summer, and then right before the season started, the commissioner announced 2 of the teams couldn't go forward for financial reasons, Philadelphia and Rockford. And in the middle of October, which was 35 days before the season started, they decided they needed a 5th team to go forward. And I had been running the Milwaukee Wave at that point, and they asked me to go down to Chicago because I had established some good contacts, good relationships in Chicago, and start the team here. So October 14th was the germination of the idea. October 18th, we announced the idea publicly. I think it was about October 26th. We had a press conference here at the Odeum formally announcing the team name. And we started like 3 weeks after that. So it was all very condensed, very exciting times. You know, when you try to put something together in that amount of time and also on a low budget, it makes for a lot of interesting time.
Yeah, so you guys are very new, you know?
Yeah, we're the newest team in the league, and with that comes its challenges and its opportunities. It's certainly been a challenge trying to make a go of it with the limited resources we have. We're a league-funded team, so we're operating on a budget a fraction of the other teams in our league, trying to make the best of it. We've been doing pretty good. Our last home game, we had a virtual sellout. It's only 1,500 seats here at the Odeum, and we had a crowd of 2,000, including the standing room. So people are starting to catch on to it and get excited. They certainly have a good time whenever they come.
Yeah, definitely. We were just walking around the Odeum here in Villa Park, and wow, you guys have three fields, don't you?
This facility has 3 fields. It's been around for about 30 years. It's a great facility. It's used non-stop during the fall, winter, and spring months by amateur leagues, especially adult amateur leagues that use the 3 fields. In fact, there's a lacrosse team practicing on one of the fields. Indoor football uses it, but for the most part, it's for indoor soccer.
Okay, very cool. You're talking about the league now. How old is the indoor soccer league?
Yeah, indoor soccer was invented in, I believe it was 1979.
Okay.
It was called the Major Indoor Soccer League, which is the name of the league we're in now. Although the MISL has gone through a number of transitions and turnovers in management, leadership, organizational structure. So this is, I think, the third permutation of the MISL.
Yeah.
But the sport has been around now for, I guess, about 30 years. And it's gone up and down in terms of popularity as it competes in a way with outdoor soccer.
Okay.
Right now, of course, Major League Soccer is really catching on and attracting fans. But we feel there's a window in the off season for the outdoor to entertain fans in the winter.
Definitely. It's definitely catching on a lot more because it is a lot cheaper as well.
You know what? For participation, I think that's an important factor. Is that it's not as expensive as football or hockey to play. Soccer worldwide, their growth is actually in from the working class areas, urban areas where it isn't so expensive. You get a ball and a pair of shoes, and sometimes even not even a pair of shoes, and you're able to go.
Yeah.
So the low economics make it easier for more people to participate. It's also a game that you can play at any age, at an early age. So a 5 or 6 year old can get started, or even a 4-year-old can get started on it. And that has been a challenge for a long time now for baseball, where Little League Baseball is really hard to get kids into it until they're 7 or 8 years old.
Yeah.
And then they later came up with T-ball because the limiting factor in Little League was the ability to have a kid that could throw a ball over the plate at the age of 5 or 6.
Right.
Whereas in soccer, a lot of it is just bumblebee soccer, where they follow the ball around and they swarm wherever the ball goes.
Yeah.
But as the kids get older, they get better coaching and better instruction, and they learn some of the insights into the game, and it becomes a lifelong sport. You can play until your older years. It's a great social sport. It's a great activity from a health standpoint. You're not just standing around and waiting for the pitch to come in or the ball to come to you. So it's I think for parents, they like their kids participating in it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a real ongoing sport where you just keep on running and just keep on passing back.
And the challenge for us is to convert the participants into spectators. Because just because you participate in the sport doesn't mean you're going to want to watch it or pay to watch it. But we found that the people that have come out to Riot games have enjoyed the experience and want to come back.
Yeah, definitely. How did the Odeum Sports and Expo Center become the home field of the Chicago Riot?
Well, there's a limited number of options. There have been pro indoor soccer teams in Chicago before, and they've played at a few different facilities. I formerly ran the Chicago Power that played at the Rosemont Horizon, which is now Allstate Arena. That one doesn't have many quality dates because they have the Wolves that play there and take most of the Saturday and Sunday dates, DePaul basketball, a number of concerts. UIC Pavilion and Hoffman Estates Sears Center are the two other real options. And both of them have upsides and downsides to them. But the Odeum was the right size for us, the right location, and had the date availability for us to get our game scheduled on short notice. And they've been very accommodating to us on short notice, being able to take care of our games. And it's really a great atmosphere. Plus, you have so many people that are already playing indoor soccer here regularly through the week, so it's a natural extension to get those same people coming to our games.
Right. That's great. It's a very local feeling. I feel like it's just like a place you can just go to, just play soccer and just hang back.
Yeah, it is. It's a community feel, and same with our athletes. They're very approachable, very accessible. Many of the players are from Chicago, and they coach in local youth soccer leagues. So it does have a community feel.
Yeah, very cool.